I just got off my laptop after diving deep into draft projections for the next 2 hours, and honestly, my hands are still shaking. I've been watching tape, crunching numbers, and connecting dots that have me genuinely excited about where this franchise is headed. The piece I just uncovered could be the missing element that takes our defense from great to absolutely unstoppable. But before we get into that, welcome to Lions News Fan Report, your home for the freshest updates, insider analysis, and all the rumors surrounding our beloved Detroit Lions. If you're here, you bleed Honolulu blue just like me, and I promise you're about to get information that will change how you see our team's future. Let me paint you a picture of where we are right now. The Lions are battling through one of the most challenging stretches of the season, fighting tooth and nail to secure our playoff position. We're currently projected to have the 17th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, though that could shift dramatically depending on how deep we go in the postseason. And trust me, with the way this team is built, we're going deep. But here's what's fascinating about this moment in time. While everyone is focused on the immediate battles ahead, the wins and losses that define our present, there's an entire chess game being played behind the scenes. Brad Holmes and his staff are already looking ahead, identifying the players who could elevate this roster from playoff contender to perennial Super Bowl threat. And when I started analyzing the landscape of available talent, one position kept jumping out at me as absolutely critical for our long-term success. Think about what makes our defense special right now. We have an identity, a culture of relentless pressure and physicality that opponents genuinely fear. But maintaining that identity requires constant investment, constant evolution. You can't stand still in this league. The moment you think you've arrived is the moment you start falling behind. Now, I want you to think about our edge position for a second. We have Aiden Hutchinson, who, when healthy, is one of the most dominant forces in the entire NFL. The man is a game wrecker, a difference maker, the kind of player who changes offensive game plans just by being on the field. But here's the reality that keeps me up at night. We need more than just one elite edge rusher. We need depth. We need versatility. We need young talent that can develop into something special while learning from the best. This is where the 2026 draft becomes absolutely crucial for our trajectory. The second round is historically where you find those hidden gems, the players who slip through the cracks of the first round, but have all the tools to become legitimate starters in this league. And after spending countless hours studying film and analyzing prospects, I've identified someone who could be the perfect fit for what Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn want to build here in Detroit. Let me take you through what I've been watching. There's a defender out there who has shown continuous, undeniable growth throughout his college career. We're talking about a player who wasn't just good from day one, but someone who has gotten better every single season. That trajectory, that commitment to improvement, is exactly what you want to see in a prospect. In his first 2 seasons, this player recorded 4 sacks each year. Solid production, the kind of numbers that show he belongs on the field. But then something clicked. Last season, he doubled that production with 8 sacks. 8! That's not a coincidence. That's development. That's a player who figured something out, who refined his technique, who started to understand the nuances of rushing the passer at the college level, and this year he's taken another massive leap forward with 11 sacks. 11! We're watching someone who has improved his sack total every single season, and that kind of consistent growth is incredibly rare. It tells you everything you need to know about his work ethic, his football IQ, and his ceiling at the next level. But here's what really excites me about this prospect and why I think he's such a perfect fit for the Lions. He's not just a one-dimensional pass rusher. He's dabbled with playing linebacker at times, showing legitimate versatility that defensive coordinators absolutely love. In today's NFL, where offenses are constantly evolving and throwing different looks at you, having defenders who can play multiple positions is invaluable. Imagine this scenario with me for a second. we bring in a young, hungry edge rusher who can learn directly from Aiden Hutchinson. Someone who can study how Hutch prepares, how he approaches the game, how he dominates offensive tackles week after week. That mentorship, that daily competition in practice, would accelerate this player's development exponentially. And here's the beautiful part. We wouldn't need him to be the guy on day one. He could come in, contribute on passing downs, provide quality depth, and gradually earn more responsibility as he develops. By year 2 or 3, we could be looking at a legitimate starting caliber edge rusher who complements Hutchinson perfectly. Think about what that does for our defense. Offensive coordinators would have nowhere to hide. You can't just chip Hutchinson all game if there's another legitimate threat coming from the other side. You can't slide protection one way if you're getting beat on the other edge. It creates chaos. It creates opportunities. It creates the kind of relentless pressure that wins championships. The versatility factor cannot be overstated either. Having a defender who can rush from the edge but also drop into coverage or play in space gives Aaron Glenn so many more options to disguise pressures and confuse quarterbacks. That's the kind of chess piece player that elite defensive coordinators dream about. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. Second-round pick on an edge rusher when we have other needs? But here's my counter-argument. You can never have too many good pass rushers. Never. The great teams in this league, the teams that consistently win in January and February, they're built on being able to get to the quarterback. It's the most important thing you can do on defense, and when you find a player who checks all the boxes, who has the production, the trajectory, the versatility, and the character you're looking for, you don't overthink it. You pull the trigger. You add that talent to your roster and let your coaching staff develop him into something special. This is exactly the kind of move that Brad Holmes has shown he's willing to make. He's not afraid to invest in the trenches to add premium talent on both sides of the line of scrimmage. And this prospect represents outstanding value at pick 49 in the second round. So here's what I'm projecting. The Detroit Lions select Gabe Jacas, edge rusher from Illinois, with the 49th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. This is the move that makes too much sense to ignore. Jacas is everything we need: productive, improving, versatile, and hungry. He's recorded 11 sacks this season for the Fighting Illini, showing he can dominate at the college level. His ability to play multiple positions gives us scheme flexibility, and his consistent year-over-year improvement tells you he hasn't scratched the surface of his potential yet. Pairing Jacas with Hutchinson would give us one of the most promising young edge duos in the entire NFL. We'd have our franchise cornerstone in Hutch and a developing star learning from him every single day. That's how you build sustained success. That's how you create a defense that opponents fear for years to come. The more I study Jacas, the more convinced I am that he's the perfect Lions player. He plays with the kind of relentless motor that Dan Campbell demands. He's constantly improving, which shows the work ethic and football IQ that this organization values. And he has the physical tools to develop into a legitimate difference maker at the NFL level. This is the type of draft pick that might not generate headlines on draft night, but 3 years from now, we'll look back and recognize it as a franchise-altering decision. We'll see Jacas and Hutchinson terrorizing quarterbacks together, and we'll remember this as the moment the Lions secured their defensive future for the next decade. So that's my projection. That's what I'm seeing when I look at the board and think about what makes sense for this organization. Gabe Jacas in the second round is the move that elevates our defense from very good to absolutely elite. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you agree that edge rushers should be a priority in the second round? What do you think about Jacas as a prospect? Are there other positions you'd rather see us address? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because I read every single one, and I love hearing different perspectives from fellow Lions fans. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay updated on all the latest Lions news, draft analysis, and insider information, make sure you subscribe to Lions News Fan Report and hit that notification bell. I'm putting out content regularly with the kind of deep dive analysis you won't find anywhere else. Give this video a thumbs up if you appreciate the work, and share it with your Lions fan friends who need to know about Gabe Jacas. The information presented in this video is based on draft projections and analysis from Pro Football Focus Mock Draft Simulator and scouting reports. Until next time, keep the faith, and let's go, Lions!